All right guys, here it is. After a couple months of some really hard work, our 2011 Ford Crown Vic LS swapped. It's almost ready for Sick Week 2024. We started off by changing the engine. Last year was just a standard 6-liter piston rod motor. This year we went to a stroker. It's a 408. We got a Molnar crank in it, Molnar rods, Wiseco pistons. We upgraded the cylinder heads. We put some trick flow cylinder heads on it, and this is where Holly came in. High ram intake manifold. We went with their smart coil design because we're going to crank some boost in this thing. We definitely want it to fire off. The ECU's upgraded from the Terminator to a Dominator. We've got stuff like their G meters on it, their travel sensors on it. As you can tell, all the Holley sensors are on here. Because we have the Dominator now, we have so much more data we can take in that, well, hopefully we make this car actually go down the track kind of fast. We upgraded a lot bigger turbo. It's an 88 106. This is actually made by On 3 Performance. Shout out to Chad and Bob. They're good friends of ours here locally, so we figured we'd try on one of their new billet G57 style turbos, and it made awesome horsepower on the dyno. At only 21 pounds of boost, made 1165 to the tires. Keep in mind, this has got a really loose torque converter and turbo 400 with some really big drag radials on it. All the bad things for the dyno, that's what we had on it, and it still made some great horsepower. We'll probably run close to 30 pounds of boost. On the engine, we went ahead and did a 1/2-inch head stud conversion. We just basically laid the groundwork out for everything to make the horsepower that we're looking to make. There's a ton of one-off stuff. We had to custom make the entire turbo kit. The rear end got an upgrade. It's actually out of a SN95, realistically a 01-ish New Edge Mustang. We went with the 35 spline, strange axles and spool, C-clip eliminators, that whole deal. The Crown Vic originally came with an 8.8, but we pulled it out in favor of the Mustang one because we could just use off-the-shelf parts without getting too carried away and having to make everything one-off. And even then, we still wound up with a pretty crazy rear end. Inside the car, we upgraded all of our safety equipment. We got a roll cage in it now, along with race quip hooked us up with some seats, some new belts. They're all updated to the SFI standards, so we are legal to run this car to 850s. Keeping the drag and drive thing going, we kept the back seat in the car just so, well, not so much for passengers, more for just stuff. And you know how much cooler it is to hang out in the backseat of this thing when you're in the staging lanes and it's really hot outside? Those back seats are plush. Most of the time you see the car, it's rocking a 31-inch all-terrain BFGs all the way around it. It really scares people because it's, well, they don't know what to think of it. They don't know what we're doing with the car, how we're racing it. So I tell these guys I'm drag racing it, it still blows their mind. They can't understand what you're doing drag racing it with this off-road tire on the front. But we're in race mode. We got these custom welds that we got put together. It's on a 30-inch drag radial, so it keeps the stance the same. We got a little bit wider on the wheel this year, so it looks enormous. Thanks to the narrowed rear end, we had to get something with a ton of back spacing. So now we got all the lip inside there. Look how much back spacing we got. That's what we got going on. Big shout out to Setrab. We've got their transmission cooler on the front of it with fans and everything else. Marv and the boys over there, awesome people to deal with. They're really knowledgeable in the fluid cooling systems area there. So if you got any questions about keeping your, whatever cooled down, oils or trans temperatures, power steering fluids, whatever, those guys definitely know what they need. My boys over at Whitfield, they hooked us up with a good bit of stuff as well. They're really well known for fabrication. They do a lot of safety equipment for, you name it, front wheel drive stuff to, God, the list goes on and on. Check those guys out as well. Holly has come through over and over and over. We can't say enough. From the EFI stuff, the intake manifold stuff, just accessories we have on the engine. We have their valve covers, their valley cover, their safety equipment. We've got the race quip seats. We've got the race quip belts. We have a Simpson hybrid so that we're legal for that aspect of things as well, as far as neck support, Simpson helmet. I mean, you name it. We're definitely hollied out in that area there. Thanks to those guys out there just being supportive for us, and we appreciate their passion in what we do, what they do, and just a good fit for us. 28 Motorsports, my dude Ryan Kerr over there, he's, no matter what, this isn't a motorcycle, but we'll have a little 28 built here and there for him. He comes through and just helps us out when we need a hand, so it's a good dude to have. The boys over at Harbor Wraps, if you're local here in Columbus, Ohio, hit those guys up if you need something wrapped. Harbor Wraps, my dude Chris Mers over there, he'll get you fixed up. No one better. All right, you guys saw the build. You saw what we're bringing to Sick Week. We got 3 days. See you in 3 days in Florida. Fingers crossed we make it. We out.